Welcome everyone to another F1 2021 My Team Career Mode video. If you are a returning viewer, thank you for coming back and supporting this series. If you're new to these videos, if this is the first video of mine that you are watching, thank you for coming along. I do appreciate you checking out this video. May I recommend going and watching the rest of the series from the start. You can see where we started, how we went through season 1 and how we got to the point that we're in here in season 2 here at Cross GT Racing. Before we actually get into the video, if you are enjoying the series and if you do end up enjoying this video that you're watching right now, please do leave a like. I would really appreciate that. Leave some comments, let me know what you think of the video, what you think of the series so far, what you think we should be doing heading forward, or if you just want to spam some random comments, then go for it. YouTube loves it when people interact with the videos. If you do end up liking this video and you're a first time viewer, or if you're a repeat viewer and you haven't subscribed already, please do consider subscribing. It would really help me out and I would really appreciate it if you could do that. So, having said that, let's head off into our facility and get on with the rest of this video.
Morning, boss. This week's income from the sponsors is cleared, and we're making good profit against our running costs.
Awesome. So basically we're making a ton of money and we're not spending money, which is exactly what we want to hear at this point, as we need a ton of money to be able to renew Nico Rosberg's contract for the second half of the season, which is still a few races away. So I'm not too worried about it right now, but he is doing really well for our team. He is gaining us a lot of resource points in practice. He's qualifying really well consistently. His race results are also pretty consistent as well. We just really need to get a really good car behind him so that he can really push for some points. He's right there. He's so close to being able to get into the points. We just don't quite have the car ready for him. So if we can get that, then he'll be off and away. As we're taking a look at the R&D, we are focusing on aerodynamics and chassis, mainly because they're the two Spec 2 facilities that we've got, which means we can rush upgrades for them, which is what I've been trying to do. I'm trying to rush upgrades. We don't lose too much. I mean, our car's already relatively good. So if we rush things and they fail, it's not that big of a deal, but if we can rush them and get them on the card, then it frees up so much more time and we can start rushing other things and we can effectively start getting ahead of other cars in the comparison. But for this one here, because it's such a big turnaround before Baku, we're just going to do, we're not going to rush, we're just going to do regular R&D for the rear wing end plates. And just make sure that we do get them on before the next race, because we want to get some more points. We managed to get into the points in the last round. If you watched the last video when we were in Spain, then you'll see that we managed to get 2 points. We managed to finish 9th, which is, I think, is the best position we've finished in this whole series so far. We should, in theory, be able to maintain or consistently finish in the points every race with the car that we've got and with the performances we've been putting in. It's just we've been sort of dropping the ball a little bit in some of these races, or in all the races really, except for the last one. Just making little mistakes, which have been costing us a bunch of positions, and just really, and they're just not even big mistakes, they're just little things that are causing big problems, really.
Our new parts have completed without issue. They'll be on the car, ready for the next race weekend.
Okay, so we had some parts come through, which is great. More parts, the better.
Not an easy choice, I know.
Okay, so aerodynamics, noticing increased rates of stress and burnout amongst the staff. Basically, let's just spend some money and make them happy.
The department wants me to pass on their thanks for helping out.
No worries. I mean, we can take a drop in cash of that much. It's not that much at all. Keep the morale up. I am happy to do that. As we start advancing time, front wing end plates have come through. We haven't got enough points to do anything else, so we will just keep on advancing time and make sure we get more parts on the car.
We'll have them with us for the next Grand Prix.
Awesome.
Unfortunately, We need you to step in and make an executive decision here.
Okay, so a journalist is going to put out an article that makes us look bad. Even if we had the resource points, I wouldn't accept doing anything. Let's just leave it, take a drop in
Thanks
the
for
claim.
handling that.
We're not going to lose that much team claim that we're going to drop down below team claim level 15 and lose a sponsor. So I'm not too fussed on that one. So we skipped the press interview with Will Buxton. I think that's his name, Will Buxton.
The
Mr.
personnel
Buxton,
department
we'll
has
call him.
requested your input on this one.
IT issues. Great. So either we can send Rosberg to the gym or we can just give him some downtime. I think his driver focus is actually pretty good, so I'm not too worried about that. So we could just focus on getting his awareness points up.
Thanks for
I
stepping
feel like
in
we
and
would...
helping handle that.
No worries. I feel like we get more benefit out of that, even though he's already racing really well. So might as well do that. We've got some more resource points. We're going to try and get the plank upgrade onto the car before the next race. We're going to try and rush that one in. Let's see what happens with that. NGH reliability
New parts
testing
are
goes
completed
through.
without issue. They'll be on the car, ready for the next race weekend.
Awesome. Now we've got to go to the durability department
want
before we
us to
can see what
deal with
happens with
this
the
one?
plank. Okay, so some deadline issues, but if we authorize some overtime, they can get it done. Morale's going to drop, but we do get a discount, so I think we should take that.
Thanks. I know these kinds of decisions can be challenging, but I think you made the right call.
Yeah, I think we can take a drop in morale and go for the discount. I think we can get that. Plank upgrade goes on the car. Rear wing end plates go on the car. So all of our R&D parts that we've been trying to get before this race have all gone on. Even the plank one that we rushed, even that managed to get on. So now this car hopefully will become an absolute beast, or at least will be on the way to becoming a beast, and we can get some more points. Could be the first time that we get points in back-to-back races in the series. As we take a look at the results from practice, Rosberg looks like he only missed out on perfecting one program, so we almost got max points there, which is awesome, because it means we can just keep on rushing things in and just getting more and more upgrades on the car. The more points we get consistently, the faster we can upgrade the car, which is what we need, considering we have reduced points across the board and the AI has increased points across the board, so they should be able to get stuff a lot faster than we do. But we're managing to hang in there as we now jump into qualifying. So we just finished our very first lap there. We set a 1:43.8, which, based off that very early lap, actually puts us in P3. I don't know how many other people have finished their first lap yet, but I think there's a few cars in front of us. So I'm really happy with that. This lap here ends up being our fastest lap. As our Delta, oh, we hit the wall. It looks like we've got some minor damage to the front left wheel and possibly that front left part of the front wing as well. But we have still set a fastest time through Sector 1 for this qualifying session so far. As Rosberg has now jumped ahead of us into P3. We're sitting P4 now. Through the castle section, we are now almost a second faster through in our Delta over our last time. Having to brake nice and late there so we don't lose too much time. Faster through Sector 2. This is shaping up to be a pretty good lap here. Let's see what sort of time we can set. We're 0.9 seconds ahead of our previous time. We almost clipped the wall there on the inside. We're now P5 in the standings as Alonso just set a 1:43.3. Can we run faster than that? Can we get further ahead? We end up setting a 1:42.9. which ends up being good enough for 4th place. Only a 1/10 of a second slower than Bottas in the Mercedes, and 600ths of a second faster than Ricciardo. Rosberg, with his 1:43.7, ends up dropping all the way back down to P12. Which is essentially still where he has been qualifying, around that sort of P12, P13, P14 area. So I'm happy with that. But P4 for us, we could be up in the points again in this race. We just have to wait and see how we go. But man, am I excited about this race.
And a warm welcome to you from Azadlik Square, heart of Baku and home, of course, to the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. With high speeds, tight corners and few runoff zones, many are expecting a safety car here today, so our drivers will have to stay very much on their toes and hopefully away from the barriers. Baku City Circuit then, an unpredictable 3.7-mile track around the streets of the Azerbaijan capital. 20 turns for our drivers to navigate today, including the infamous Turn 8, one of the tightest and most challenging corners of the season. Anthony Davidson joins me once again in the commentary box, and it's fantastic to have you with us here today. But I'm curious, as a man with experience out on the track, how do you stop those pre-race nerves from becoming overwhelming when you're lining up on the grid?
Well, from the moment qualifying's over, you start to feel the adrenaline in your body build up and the buzz in your stomach as you anticipate the run down into turn 1. It's all a bit like going into battle, and the unknown situation makes you nervous. Those pre-race nerves are a good thing. The day you don't have them means that you don't care anymore. And of course, you have to make sure that all the procedures are second nature to you, so that they're not taking up too much of your capacity.
It's time to take a look at our starting grid for today's race. Young superstar Max Verstappen starts from pole position, and Lewis Hamilton completes the front row. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Bottas, the captain, Carlos Sainz, and Perez, Norris, Fernando Alonso, Leclerc and Pierre Gasly, Rosberg, Tsunoda, Lance Stroll and Russell, Ricciardo. They'll be starting further back after an earlier grid penalty, Schwartzman, Antonio Giovinazzi and Guan Yu Zhou, Latifi, Mazepin, Ocon and Mick Schumacher. And with preparations almost complete, let's head down to the track.
Now that we've got some points on the board, let's continue this form and aim for another top 10 finish.
Sure thing, Jeff. Ricciardo had to take a grid penalty by the looks of things, so Rosberg actually going to be starting in P11. We're still P4. We're going to be running a 2-stop. We're running on the start of this race on some slightly worn soft tyres. As you can see there, they are already used, so they aren't going to last as long. So we're going to be pitting early and then running 2 stints on mediums for the rest of this race. As Hamilton locks up the wheels heading into turn 1. Oh, mirroring real life. I can't remember what...
To manage this, we'll need to lower our ERS deployment mode.
Okay, so MGUK has got some wear on it, but I'm not too fussed about that. We can still run this race with that. We try to go up the inside of Hamilton at turn 3. We get into P3. We end up passing Mercedes on the first lap. This first lap not good for Hamilton after that lock up at turn 1. I can't remember what year he did that, but it's quite ironic that it happens yet again. As we take a look at the replay, we just managed to squeeze him out there around turn 3. We really shouldn't have gone for that, but you know, we had an opportunity. He went a little bit wide, gave us some space. We managed to take it and get ourselves up into P3. But that castle section doesn't do us any favours, and the power of that Mercedes, he just breezes past us. Even though we've got the same engine, we've both got Mercedes engines in these things. And I think our powertrain unit's actually at the top of the comparison, or at least it was, I think, heading into round 3, maybe into round 4. But yeah, that's just the car as a whole just isn't quite there as we clip the wall. But no damage to the car. Looks like we maybe just brushed the tyres up against the wall. Yeah, pretty
We're approaching the pit window. You'll be on the mediums.
Thanks, Jeff. We brake late there. Have to lock up the wheels heading into turn 1. It's you know, a little bit scary there. We're pushing the car as hard as we can and clipping the wall. Don't want to be doing that too much. Hamilton has now extended that gap to 2 seconds. So the top 3 now pulling away relatively easily from us. Lap 3 now, so Perez has gotten in front of us. We've now got Norris and Sainz coming up behind us. They both have DRS. So Norris makes quick work of us. Sainz along behind him. Now they're starting to tussle.
In this lap, push now.
Oh, Sainz gets held up by Norris. That kind of opens up the door for us. We're now going to try and get the inside of him at turn 2. We do. Just a little bit of a slide. A little bit of a slide. We managed to hold on to it. We get DRS. Sainz is back. Sainz has got DRS. And because he had a much big exit out of that corner, he's now right up there with us. We have Gasly and Alonso coming up either side of us. But we managed to stay ahead of them. P7, we're still following along behind Sainz. He hasn't managed to shake us yet. That gap is, it's not growing, but it's not closing either. Until a bit of a mix up there with the steering and braking. We're a bit hesitant there. That gap's opened up. Hopefully Lando Norris can hold up Sainz a little bit so that we can still stay in touch with him through this castle section. Oh, we took that so much better this time around. Exit wasn't that great, but that first bit we took really well. We just have to be a bit more consistent through there, as Gasly is now 1/10 of a second behind us. He's right there. We're managing to keep ahead.
Our gap to the car in front is 1.7 seconds.
Okay, so that gap to Sainz is opening. Gasly is only 2/10 behind us now. He's gaining on us already. Oh, we almost hit the wall again. Just trying to go as fast as we can through there. Gasly just goes straight past us. Nothing there. We end up slowing down here. We've got to let Alonso go past us. We want to head into the pits. Rosberg heads past us. He's got a 5-second penalty for some reason. I'm not really sure what that was for. But that's not going to help our team's bid for some more points. He'll have to serve that when he comes into the pits next. We're into the pits. It looks like we're the only ones in the pits right now.
Go, go, go.
In and out. 2-second pit stop, exactly where we should be.
Exit. We'll receive a penalty for dangerous driving if you cross over into the track.
Alright, lap 5 now. We're on the mediums. It's now almost 8 seconds to Schumacher in P21. But the rest of these guys on softs will have to pit at some point. We're doing a 2-stop. If they're on soft, I can only imagine they'll be doing a 2-stop as well, as Alonso, Leclerc and Ricciardo, all the pits. They've all moved on to mediums now. We get ahead of Ricciardo. Leclerc comes out right next to us. Alonso cuts straight across, cuts us off heading into turn 2. But we get DRS on him now.
Good work, great pass.
It looks like he's activated his ERS. We're going to do the same. And we have the speed to go past. We're braking really late. We missed the braking point and we've had to go down the escape road. Lap 6, we managed to catch up. And we just gave all that time that we gained. We gave it all back and some. And now we are 7 seconds behind Ricciardo. We're in P22. So we had a prime opportunity to get back in the mix. And we threw it all away because we were just too focused on trying to pass Alonso. We missed our braking point. Luckily though, that escape road was there. If it wasn't, that would have probably been our race over and done with. But we have managed to catch up. Lap 7 now. We've gotten ahead of Mazepin, who was in the pits. Ocon has come out of the pits. Rosberg, Giovinazzi have also pitted. Everyone's on mediums now by the looks of things. So, back to someone even playing field. We hit the wall again! But luckily there's no damage. We're getting so lucky with these clips on the wall. Thank God this isn't simulation damage, otherwise our car would be screwed right now. we'd be pitting for probably our 3rd front wing change. If you can have that many front wing changes, I don't know. But we are back in the mix now. We're sitting behind Ocon. We're in P21. We're only 9/10 behind Ocon on mediums. Rosberg's 2.5 seconds up the road. Giovinazzi 3.7 seconds up the road ahead. So it's going to take a lot to catch up, but we are going to get DRS here on Ocon, so that is going to help our cause. I do believe Ocon is faster than Giovinazzi, so that will help us catch up to him. We brake really late there. Coming into turn 1, we passed Schwartzman and Guan Yu Zhou, both in the pits going on to medium compound tyres. Looks like Tsunoda, I think Tsunoda must have come out of the pits because he's now ahead of Ocon. We don't see Rosberg, we haven't passed him, and there's no way he went back into the pits after he just pitted, what, 2 laps ago. So we are slowly gaining on Ocon. He's only half a second ahead of us now. Tsunoda 2.1 seconds up the road ahead of us. So we're gaining on Ocon. We're going to do a massive dive bomb here at the beginning of lap 9 at turn 1. Huge dive bomb.
That brings you up the place.
There was no way that we should have even attempted that, but we went for it and we got it. P17 now. We're fighting back. Making our way back through the grid. We ran a 1:45.2 that lap, which is now the fastest lap of this Grand Prix on mediums. Fastest lap of the Grand Prix on mediums, and that's up against the likes of the Red Bulls and the Mercedes.
Got a great chance of taking the position. Come on, we know you can do it.
Well, thanks, Jeff. That's probably the first time that I can recall in this whole series where he's just jumped in and given me some encouragement like that, without me actually having to pass someone, or without someone passing me and him saying that we can get the position back. So that's nice to hear. Thanks for that, Jeff. We are following along behind Tsunoda now, and there are a few cars up in this train. There's 4 cars ahead of us that we can actually see, so a little bit of traffic on the road. Oh, there's some more up there. So what are we seeing up here? We're seeing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's 8 cars. There's 7 or 8 cars in front of us that we can actually see. And so we have to eat right there to make sure that we don't end up clipping the wall. We are in DRS range, but everyone's in DRS range of someone. So all we're going to be doing is pulling everyone along. It looks like there's a lot of people going defensive here or offensive around the inside of this corner. We brake late. Everyone's holding up each other. So this is good for us because we can catch up. We have to brake early there, and we still clip the back of Tsunoda. No damage again. We're getting so lucky with this. DRS activated and ERS. We're going to go on the outside. We're going to try and get past Tsunoda. Oh, we have to brake early because Russell's all over the place. We've got a little bit of contact there between Russell and Tsunoda. We're going to make a run down the inside. Oh, we end up pushing a little bit of contact there with Ocon. Wheel on wheel. We get a warning there. And there was a caution there for a moment. We'll go back and take a look. We did manage to get up into P15. Let's take a look. It starts all the way back here at turn 2. We've got Russell alongside, I don't know who he's alongside. Maybe that was Rosberg? We get alongside Tsunoda. We're on and off the brakes here. Tsunoda and Russell with a bit of contact there. Now we make the dive down here into turn 4. We end up clipping Ocon, and we end up doing something there. We take a look at a different angle here in the slow-mo. Come around, we clip Ocon there, and we actually spin him. Our left rear tyre clips his right front and actually sends him into a spin. And that's where the caution came from, as we try to take a look down the inside of Rosberg, but there's just no room. We're just not close enough to get the job done. And that spin from Ocon has actually now pushed all those guys back, because he actually blocked off their path So there's an 8-second gap between us and Sonoda as we now get DRS on Rosberg. Oh, a little bit of contact there between the teammates as we go down the inside of Rosberg and Schumacher, and they both jump in behind and let us go. So we're now P13, still holding the record for the fastest lap right now. Oh, we have to brake right before we hit that wall. We're really pushing the limits of this track. These street circuits are really tight, and you have to be so precise. Any error and you're taking front wing damage, or just retiring from the race altogether. Lap 12, we end up clipping the wall. We were following along behind Giovinazzi. We managed to catch up to him. We were really pushing, and heading into the castle section, we end up clipping that wall. We've now got front wing damage. Rosberg is 1/10 of a second behind us. We just don't have any ability to turn now. Too much damage to the front wing. We brake at the same time we normally do, but we just don't have enough, and we can't turn. So Rosberg goes up the inside, which is good because we really didn't want to hold him up. And we have to coast through here, and we hit the wall, and now our front wing is well and truly gone. If it was broken before, it's almost non-existent now. Yeah, we're going to just aim to go as fast as we can down the straight into the pit lane. Pitting early now. Lap 13 now, so we've got 14 laps left in this race. So we are pitting for a couple of laps, 2 or 3 laps earlier than we expected. While that front wing was completely gone. Whole thing was gone.
Go now.
Right, Mick Schumacher is just coming out of the pits now as well. So he's now past us in the pit lane. Russell and Sonoda though are still miles behind us. Well, I know they're not. The times are now starting to calibrate properly. Well, they're still 9 seconds behind us. But this is not good for us. We're now P20. We dropped a lot of time due to the front wing damage we sustained in the last lap, and we now have to run an extended stint on these mediums, which we should be able to make. We should be able to get there on these mediums, but not ideal. We had a, that's really set us back. Two big incidents: the loss of the front wing through the castle section, as we did a massive dive bomb on Schumacher. We were so far behind him, and we still managed to get it done through turn 1. So we get another position on him. His teammate Nikita Mazepin though is 8.5 seconds ahead of us. So it's going to take some work to catch up to him. We would be in such a better position if it wasn't for those 2 incidents: the front wing loss, and also just missing our braking point when we were trying to overtake Alonso and heading into the escape road. Just really setting us back. Lap 16, we've managed to catch up to Mazepin. We had a cheeky look up the inside there before we head into the castle section, but just not a good place for us to try and pass. We have set the fastest sector 1 time yet again for this race. So we are getting faster and faster through sector 1. We come right up by Mazepin on the brakes. We almost hit the wall again. Really pushing the limits of this track as far as we can. Sector 2 slower, but we're right behind Mazepin now. Rosberg's in the pits.
Is just peeling off into the pits now. He's in the pits.
So this will be his last pit. He should be going on to another set of mediums. Oh, Mazepin really trying to squeeze us up against the wall there, but he ends up giving us the space. We get DRS. We passed him already, and we don't get a faster lap this time. A slower sector 3 time. We go wide through turn 1, almost at the wall again. Man, so many times we're almost hitting these walls. But we are now P17 and we're right behind Joe. We've got the DRS activated. We go around the outside. We make sure we brake at the right point this time. That's now P16, and now we're right behind Latifi, trying to make moves on him. Rosberg's just in front of him.
Nice overtake.
So we could get back up to Rosberg. Oh, a little bit of a slide there, but we managed to hold it. And we haven't really lost any time. These slower, tighter turn sections of the track and coming up through castle section, we can sort of mitigate any losses that we have been getting. We just lost the fastest lap, so Verstappen set one, and then straight after that Hamilton 3/10 faster, setting a 1:44.6, 6/10 faster than our current best. We're probably not going to be able to catch that, but we just really want to get back into the points, and we go around the inside of Latifi, the same move we did on Mazepin in the lap prior, but looks like we pulled that off a bit cleaner. Schwartzman in the pits, so there's another free position for us to gain. Latifi peels off into the pits, and Zhou does as well, late on the brakes into turn 1. Lap 18, we're now back in P14 behind our teammate Nico Rosberg in P13. 2.5 seconds to gap now. So it's taken us a little while, but we've managed to catch back up. We're now lap 22, right behind Rosberg and Giovinazzi, who are battling with each other and holding each other up. So now we're right behind them, which could make this straight pretty interesting. Giovinazzi gets the DRS, and we get DRS on him. ERS activated as well, straight past Rosberg. We're going to attempt to go past Giovinazzi, who brakes right where he probably should. We brake a bit later, but we managed to get the job done around the inside. 2 positions there. Let's take a look here. We get a good exit here. We're following right behind in the slipstream. DRS activated. Rosberg lets us go. Giovinazzi brakes, we brake later, and we manage to just squeeze him out. A little bit of a slide there, but we hold on to it. And that is now P12. Lap 24, we've got a decent gap now between ourselves and Giovinazzi. It's a 5-second gap to Gasly. We are closing that gap quite quickly. We've just, in this small period of time, we've closed, what, 4 tenths now? So at this rate, if we keep going, we could catch up and get back into the points. We clip the side. We go into a spin. Lap 24, we've gone into a spin. P12, we're trying to reverse the off the wall, but we just can't. So we're going to have to try and do a 1,000 point turn. Oh, we've clipped Schwartzman. Schwartzman came right up next to us and hit us. He hit us. We get a 5-second penalty for that, so that's not good. We have dropped, what's that, 4 positions because of that spin. With only 2.5 laps left. Well, somehow we took no damage though from that hit. Schwartzman hit us. He went into the pits that lap. We're up to P15 now. 10 seconds to Ocon. 9 seconds minus to Latifi, but we do have a 5-second penalty, so we have to make sure that we stay above that 5-second gap to Latifi. But he is closing that gap. It's gonna be a bit rough for the rest of the race as Bottas takes the checkered flag and we spin again. The exact same thing as we did 2 laps earlier. And yet again, we have to do the 1,000 point turn. Oh, as Latifi goes past, Zhou goes past. P17 now, it's just all falling apart. We were doing so well. We've had 4 big mistakes in this race, and it has dropped us way out of the points now. And now Mazepin, 6 seconds behind us. We've got the 5-second penalty as we head on down to turn 16. He's now just over 5 seconds behind us. We're now in danger. He's under 5 seconds. We're in danger here of losing another place. Can we get enough speed in this last straight to get back above that 5-second gap. It doesn't look like we're going to be able to. As we come down to the checkered flag.
That's the end of the race. We'll see you in Parc Ferme.
What a disappointing finish. We started P4 and ended up way down at the bottom.
Here we are then, it's victory in Azerbaijan. Great work from the whole team here at the track and back at the factory as well. And some pretty handy driving for good measure. So Anthony, what made the difference out there today?
I really feel the track layout combined with the track temperatures we saw today suited their car. These cars come alive when the tyres are just at the right temperature, and the driver did a great job managing that as well. They just look so comfortable out there. It's like anything, it always looks so easy when it all just clicks.
And I can see the drivers starting to approach the podium for the victory celebrations. A real team victory today. Everybody played their part. Congratulations then to Mercedes, your race winners today.
Oh, that was so disappointing. We spun twice, we went down the escape road after missing a turn, and we had the front wing loss, all adding up to us dropping from P4 down to P18. Only a tenth of a second behind Mazepin. After the last round, I thought we would have been well and truly getting some points this season. And now we're back to where we were before that, making mistakes and just dropping places. Rosberg did, however, make P12, which is good. But we just need to be more consistent ourselves. So Bottas, claiming the points for this race, has now closed that gap slightly to his teammate Lewis Hamilton. He's now 30 points behind. We are still P13. Rosberg now has jumped up to P15 after his finish in this race, getting ahead of Schwartzman, but still no points to his name as of yet. As we take a look at the constructors standings, no change there other than Alfa Romeo and Williams jumping up and down around each other. Mercedes still 42 points ahead of Red Bull, and McLaren in third place, 74 points behind them. Rivalry breakdown. We've got 2 races left. We are 5 points ahead of Giovinazzi. This could be, as long as we don't screw up the next 2 rounds, this could be the best, not even the best, the only rivalry that we're going to win. Not the best rivalry we've had, well it will be, but it's the only one that we could win so far this point. We haven't won a single rivalry. And we actually managed to get all of our cash this time around. We haven't done that, I don't think, since round 1, maybe? So we're just not getting interview questions. $7 million total to our names now, which I think is just enough for Rosberg's contract. So now, any extra money we get above this, we could actually start using to build up our facilities even more. But we need to make sure we focus on his contract first, because he is definitely the one holding our team together right now. So that brings race weekend here in Baku to a close. Round 5 over and done with. A disappointing finish, but if it wasn't for those mistakes we made, we could have actually finished quite well. So I'm taking that away from this race, that our car is performing well. We are performing well for the most part. We just need to be far more consistent. Well, not far more consistent, we just need to stop the small little mistakes that turn into big problems. If you enjoyed this video, do leave a like. If you are enjoying the whole series, leave likes on all the videos. Go back and rewatch them if you really want to. If you're new to the channel, go back to the start. Watch from the very start of the series and see how we went through season 1 and how we got to this point here in season 2. Please leave a comment. Let me know what you thought of this, what you've been thinking of the whole series, what you're thinking about going forward. Wow, our front wing went to the moon. That was well and truly gone. Good that we went into the pits there, because we would not have been able to have done anything from there. So yeah, please do leave comments. the YouTube algorithm does like it when people comment on the videos, and they like when people leave likes as well. And if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, please do subscribe. I would really appreciate it if you did. So with that all said and done, thank you for watching this video. I do really appreciate you coming back to watch, or jumping in and watching for the first time if you're a first time viewer. And I will see you all in the next one.